Hey y'all, welcome back. This is Talk Your Shit with Dasia, where we drop the act because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. Hey y'all, hope you're doing lovely on this Wednesday evening or Thursday morning or Friday evening. I don't know. Whenever you're catching this, I hope you're doing lovely because I'm doing lovely. Y'all, excuse my blanket if you're watching on YouTube, because I'm in Florida right now, and for some reason, the weather is weathering. It is weathering, and it is freezing. So, excuse my blanket. I'm very cozy this episode because I'm trying not to freeze to death. But yeah, I hope you all are doing lovely, especially my fellow Floridians, because this weather is kicking our ass right now. But we gonna make it through because we can make it through anything, right? If we can be hot as hell, we can be cold as fuck. So we gonna make it through. So, y'all, still in the spirit of season 1 of personal development and self growth, we're gonna be talking about my word of the year, which is discipline, and building discipline and tackling procrastination and fear, because of course procrastination and fear ties into why you may have a hard time building discipline. But we're going to talk about that today because, y'all, discipline has not been my friend for the longest of times, and we're like trying to get to know each other right now, and we trying to really build a relationship because we ain't been friends for a minute. I don't know if we might have been friends when I was younger. We might have knew each other a little bit, but once my mama basically let us do what we wanted to do, I think it might have left. It might have left. And we trying to get reacquainted with each other right now. And she don't like me, I don't like her, but we trying to learn how to like each other so we can eventually learn how to learn each other. I mean, love each other, because it's just it's a learning thing, all in all. But me and discipline, we have a love hate relationship. Let's just say that. So, y'all, I want to talk about like how discipline has really showed up in my life. Not to keep playing, to be serious, but I want to show, or at least explain, how it has shown up in my life over the last year, because I have really been working towards learning how to build discipline and to have it in a healthy way towards, getting things accomplished and doing things. And I'm still no way, shape, or form great, good, none of that. But I am, like I said, we learning how to become friends right now because we don't like each other. Right now, we don't like each other, and we learning how to, get on the same page and develop that relationship. So me and discipline is really having it out with each other right now. 2025, like I said, that's the word for this year for me. Well, that and consistency, because I feel like those two go hand in hand together. Discipline along with consistency, put those together and you're a-okay. And so I'm like, those are my two words. So I want to talk about like how it has shown up for me and how I'm working to, develop and evolve the relationship I have with consistency right now, so that not consistency, but with discipline right now, so that, I can achieve the goals that I have set in place to achieve, especially like I mentioned last week. Was it last week or the week before last, where I said that I had my vision board up on my wall and I get to look at it every day. And in order to get majority of that stuff accomplished, I have to implement discipline so that those things can get accomplished, because it's not that they're hard and that they're far away to reach. It's that without being able to put one foot in front of the other towards that goal, you're never going to reach it. So, y'all know me, Dasia. I love a good definition. So, we're going to start with the definition of discipline. And this is a working definition. I don't think it's like a Merriam-Webster definition because I typed in like what does it mean to practice discipline. So I took what it popped up on Google from there versus the definition of discipline because I didn't really like that. I didn't like it. Sorry, I didn't like it. So from what I searched, the definition that came up, to practice discipline is to actively work on controlling your behavior and actions by following a set of rules or standards, consistently applying self control to achieve goals, even when faced with challenges or distractions, essentially training yourself to stay focused and committed to a plan. So, see, why that's hard for me is because in my years of living, planning has not really been my thing unless it's for like a trip or something like that. Like I'm really not a planner. And I think that really comes from like childhood. Well, I can't even say childhood because there was like bouts of planning, bouts of not. And I'm not gonna say I'm not a planner. Let's just say again, there was bouts of planning, bouts of not planning. So like there are different things I will plan for, and other things when it come to my mind, I got to do it or it's not gonna get done. Period. Point blank. So when it comes to like discipline, the reason why I have a hard time, maintaining it is because I don't really plan out things, which I'm working on figuring out what my planning looks like because I don't think that I'm gonna be one of those girlies to be like, okay, 5 o'clock you wake up, 6 o'clock you do this, 7 o'clock you do that. I don't think I'm gonna be able to be one of those people just off of, if you believe in like the personality thing, I'm an INFP. I am INFP. Intuition, INTJ, INFP. I'm an INFP, I think. Don't let me lie. But I think I'm that because that's the mediator, I believe. And so, like, being that I am that, at least more to my core, I'm an INFP with the A assertive. So, like, I'm very go with the flow, don't really have myself to a strict schedule or plan because I need to be able to maneuver and stuff like that. So in order for me to get stuff achieved, I have to figure out a way where I am catering to who I am for the most part, which is not confining myself to a strict schedule, but making sure I get stuff done. So what I did learn about myself, along with, the personality thing, is I am somebody that when something's at the top of my brain, I'm going to get it done. Period, point blank. Like as long as it's at the, or, what I will say, in the conscious part of my brain. Because sometimes, and I was looking at a Mel Robbins interview, and it might have been, I wonder was it the interview she just did with the pivot, but I was listening to her and she was like, you have 5 seconds to do something before the thoughts you have go from conscious to subconscious. And so I'm one of those people where I think we all need to be one of those people where you go from not moving to moving so that you can get shit done. But I know I'm one of those people that as soon as I think about something, if I don't do it, that shit gonna get lost in the sauce and I'm not gonna remember what the fuck I was supposed to do. So I do my best to do stuff when it comes to my brain because if I don't, it's not going to get done. And so I'm trying to figure out currently how to mesh that along with, a plan so that there's still some type of guidance or steps towards getting my goals done. So right now, I downloaded like a workout app because one of my things on my vision board is to lose 20 pounds, and then just to gain, well, hopefully lose 20 pounds of fat and then gain muscle or whatever. So I have been doing, I downloaded a workout app and I've done that for the last 2 weeks. Now, am I the most consistent? Probably not, because I've had to change a day to a different day, but I completed all the exercises for that week. So I've gone 2 weeks strong, which is it's great. Like, that's all I can ask for, is to keep adding on days. Like, I'm proud of myself for being able to go 2 weeks strong, although it is the beginner workout, so it is fairly easy. Like, but right now I'm in a space where I'm not trying to challenge myself outside of just remaining consistent. Like, I don't mind when I get in the habit of working out and everything like that, adding on the hard stuff, being able to do more weights, do more reps and sets and stuff like that. But right now, in this beginner stage, and I'm not technically a beginner, but in this beginner stage, I am really just focusing on the consistency of it. But there's like no plan. But I think what helps me is that I know that it should be done on a certain day. I don't lock myself into a certain time, because if I get to it at this time versus another time, I don't think that matters as long as it gets done. Is my the way I see it now. Is Can that be the case for everything? Probably not. It's probably not going to be the case for everything. But at least for that, I just ensure that I get it done that day. And for me right now, I'm telling myself, like, get it done before you go to work. So I don't have to go into work until 1 o'clock in the evening. So I've been telling myself, like, get it done before you go to work. So like this morning, I woke up, and when I got out of the bed and I felt like a good enough to be able to do it, I did it, the workout, and I was good. But every morning when I wake up, am I going to do that workout at the same time? Probably not. And so that's where I'm like learning to mesh in, not holding myself to a confine, but also enmesh the discipline of it, of making sure it gets done. So what I'm going to have to start working on too is coming up with a plan of stuff that needs to get done. So that's been getting done because it's on the app telling me I need to do it for the day. I do need to come up with like at least a to-do list. I think to-do list might help me out with being more disciplined, in a sense of me knowing what to do for the day. Sometimes I don't know what I should be doing that day, so I end up not doing anything until I think about what needs to be done, and then that might be the next day or the day after. So I got to work on coming up with to-do list of what I could be doing in a day to figure out, what needs to be done this day versus the next day. And I think doing a to-do list might be more helpful too, because again, it's not constraining me to a time frame. Like, something about wake up at this time, do this at this time, do this at this time just seems so unnatural. And is it impossible to do? No, but I got to figure out how to do this so that I'm successful. And I feel like if I try to stick to a time thing, like, everything about who I am right now is going to push up against it. And I'm going to be like, fuck this shit. Like, even now, when my alarm goes off, I'm in a space where I just be on some snooze shit. But I also got into a space where I allow my body to naturally wake up, and then I do it. And that's why I really appreciate the time in which I go to work, because I don't have to go to work until later in the day. I'm not forced to have to wake up at this time and do this at this time, because I have time in the morning to get shit done. I have, if I wake up, say the latest I wake up is 9, I don't have to be to work until 1. So that's a good 3 hours, because I got to do like an hour for like travel and stuff. That's a good 3 hours to get shit done and make shit shake, and whatever the case may be. So I think the biggest way for me to optimize that time, and then it could be more time if I wake up sooner, but the biggest way I could optimize that time is having a to-do list to know what needs to be done. Like, that would be beneficial for me. But if you are someone where you feel like doing the time by time by time, like, I'm pretty sure people with is it ADHD, I think, would benefit from having like a time by time by time. That would be beneficial for them. But for somebody like me, that just feels like a lot. And that's no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. But, I think the goal is just to ensure that you're getting things done when you say you're going to do it. And so that's what I'm working on. And I'm taking baby steps. Am I going to ever, am I going to say I'm never going to get to a space where I can attach different tasks to a time? No, I'm not going to say that I'll never get there. But to start out, I think in order to build good habits, you got to start out with what works for you so that you can maintain it and then add on shit as you go. But if you try to overload yourself with shit that you know damn well you ain't never did a day in your life, and like, don't play yourself, because the last thing you will want to do is be like, okay, I'm finna do this, that, and the third of some shit you ain't never did before. Then when you don't do it, you feel like you failed yourself or you're disappointing yourself, and now you're just like, beating down on yourself or providing yourself with bad feedback and stuff like that. It's like, no, this is where that self discovery and self learning and all that stuff comes in, because once you learn who you are and you pay attention to how you get shit done, because honestly, we all get shit done. Now, is it the shit that's probably the healthiest? Maybe not. But we all get shit done. And when you learn at like how you get shit done, you figure out how to merge that with a healthier way so that you can consistently be getting stuff done and going in the direction in which you need to be going for your goals that you have that you want to achieve. And so that's like where I'm at. That's my starting point, is like, I know sticking to a schedule is not going to be helpful, because I've never been that person. When I was growing up, we didn't have set schedules. We didn't have a set wake up time. Now, maybe like elementary, middle school, we had a set wake up time. Or let's say we had a set wake up time because of school. You got to be to school at the same time every time. But as far as like go to sleep time, what is a go to sleep time? Dinner time? What is a dinner time? Like, do your homework time? Like, what is that? Like, up until high school, I did my homework as soon as I got out of school, because it was in my conscious brain to be like, girl, go ahead and do that homework before you get home, and then that is not nothing you think about. But that's been me my whole life, is get the hard shit done first before you not thinking about the hard shit no more, and then you not gonna want to do the hard shit when you're not thinking about it. So like, I've been that way since I was younger. So when I got out of school when I was younger, I would literally do my homework in the car, or if I'm waiting for to be picked up, I would do my homework while I'm waiting. Like, I'm getting the hard shit done first, because when I get home, baby, I already know I'm finna turn on Disney Channel, watch whatever's on Disney Channel, and not give a damn about no homework. So I've I've been that person for forever. Why would I try to lock myself into a time schedule when that's never been me? Like that, I'm going to be set up for failure. And what's crazy, y'all, is like, I have got all of the passion planners and all of the different things to have the time. I tried to set up like a alarm clock in my phone to match whatever task I need to do each time. I done turned all them shits off except for my wake up alarm, because to me it just feels so unnatural. Like, it feels so uncomfortable to do that, versus if I wake up, tell myself, okay girl, you need to do this workout before you leave out. You need to go walk for your 30 minutes or your hour. You need to do this. Don't play. And I get it done. And again, it may not be done at the same time on the same day, but it's going to get done. So I just have to add more stuff. But I'm starting with one task, because I seen another dude. I don't remember what his name is, but I came across another dude, and I'm pretty sure it was other people that said this too, is start with one task that you can maintain consistency on, and then add on more. So this one, I mean, I have other tasks that I'm consistent on. Like, one of the tasks that I'm super consistent on, and I very rarely skip it right now, is like, I'll go to Publix and stop, and I'll fill up my big Miyoki cup from off of TikTok. I'll fill it up with the ice and the water because I love Publix ice. Because if you're a iron deficient person like me, and I don't even know if it's that deficient, I just like ice, I think. But if you're an iron deficient person like me, then you like ice. But then if you a Floridian or you got a Publix in your area, you know Publix ice, they ice be icing. So I'll stop there before I go to work, and I'll fill up my cup with ice water, and I'll grab a cup of ice for my coworker because she likes the ice as well. I've been doing that for the last few months. That's been like the most consistent thing I've done in a while, other than scrolling on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. So it's like you gotta work on one thing and slowly add in more. So right now it's maintaining the discipline on the workout app. Like I said, y'all, I'm going into my third week of doing my workouts and everything, and that's been going good. And I plan to make it through the whole challenge. I think the challenge is for like a month and a half or something. I plan to make it through the whole challenge because if I can make it through that, then I can only, guess what else I can make it through. And before I did that, although it wasn't the smartest, I had did like a 2 week cram session for the GRE because I knew I needed to take the GRE. Granted, was it the smartest thing? Probably not, because my brain ain't never hurt more than it hurt when I was studying for that GMA. My brain was like, bitch, we tied. Like literally, it was telling me, bitch, we tied. And I was feeling so bad because I had to stick with it. And what's crazy is I knew that probably wasn't the smartest thing, but I was like, yo, if you don't lock in a date and start just sitting at this desk and doing something, you're never gonna take it. So I locked in a date, and it might have been a little bit more than 2 weeks, but I just like focused. So as soon as I got up, I would do my stretching, I would go walk around the neighborhood, and then I would study. I think I got to a point where I stopped even walking around because that was a lot, and I would just study for an hour or whatever. And then I got to a point where I had told myself, okay, there was like a whole bunch of sections in the study thing that I had printed off. So I was like, okay, you're gonna do 5 of these each day, knocking them bitches out. Like, and I would not let the day go back. Like, it was some nights where I would stay up to like 2 o'clock, making sure those 5 got done. Like, just to, remain true to what I was telling myself. Like, if I would have applied that sooner, I would have had way more time to study, and I probably would have did way better on the test. But like, it really took for me to lock in the date for that test for me to lock in. Like, and so I had started practicing discipline with that. And now I get to practice with the working out and everything. So, I think when it comes to like discipline, you really got to find what works for you. And as much as we love to look online for help and guidance and everything like that, and of course some of the words are wisdom, but nobody knows you like you, which is why you have to self discover and be with self and learn yourself, because you're going to be the only person to know how you get shit done and what makes you get this shit done. Like, I'm really believing people when they say motivation don't mean nothing. Like, whether you're highly motivated or not makes no like difference. Like, it makes no difference. What really matters is that you can show up for yourself on a consistent basis, regardless of what's going on, because you got a goal in mind that you need to get achieved so you can get to a place that you want to get to. So again, only you are going to know how you can get to that place. Only you've been with you enough to pay attention. Okay, when I achieved this, this is how I was able to do it. Whether it was writing in a planner, setting stuff on your phone, or as soon as you thought about it, you did it, or whatever the case may be. Only you know that. And then you take that and you refine it so that it becomes more of a thing that you can utilize on a day-to-day basis. Because the last thing you want to do is try to do what somebody else is doing. You're not that person, and then you drop it and you take forever to pick it back up. Like, that doesn't help. Like, the goal is to get the goals achieved, or to build new habits, or whatever the case may be. Like, that's the goal, is to ensure that you're doing something that's going to be beneficial for you. It don't help to try to follow somebody else's blueprint when you're not that person. Like, if you know that you don't do majority of the things that person does, but you gonna take that person's routine and try to do it, like, that don't make sense. And so, like, that's what I've been learning, is to do what works for me, because them people ain't here to help me figure it out when I'm over here fucking it up. It's only me in the gym shooting the shots. Like, it's only me. So I gotta trust that I know what's best for me, and I can take the guidance and the help from other people, but I know what's best for me. And as I pay attention to how I accomplish things, how I get shit done. Like, I legit low key and my mom, but she like on steroids with some of the stuff. Like, she's the same way, where if you tell her something that needs to be done, she gonna do it. But while it's in her conscious brain, she gonna do it like immediately. But hers is from a little bit out of anxiousness outside of, like, mine is just because I know if I don't do it now, I'm gonna forget. And then I'm gonna be like, fuck it, whatever. Hers is like, okay, y'all asked me to do something, I don't want to let you down, and if I do let you down, then it spirals. So we definitely do it from a different place, but I get it from her, I'm sure, because you let that lady know right now you need something, she is not gonna rest until she solve it right now. Me, on the other hand, I'm just gonna know that I need to do it. It's not gonna get done. Like, baby, like, you let me know you need something done, let me go ahead and do it now, because it ain't gonna get done. Or you better remind me if you need to get done later, because I ain't gonna remember. The way my brain be on to the next thing, like, y'all can see how off topic I get every now and again. Like, I be on topic and off topic so fast that, baby, you tell me you need me to do something, if I don't do it, then I'm gonna be so off topic, and I ain't gonna remember what the topic was. And it's crazy because as a case manager, right? See, look, I'm gonna go off topic right now. As a case manager, I really don't take around like a notebook or and a pen or anything like that to write down stuff that the clients be asking me to do or whatever. I really go with everything off the dome, because I am really good at memory and stuff like that. I'm really good at that, but when it comes to like stuff to do, if I don't do it in that moment, I be done forgot. So it's been times where people have asked me to do something, but if I didn't do it right then, I'll come back to them and they be like, hey, did you do this, that, or third? And I'll be like, you know what? I actually didn't get a chance to do it, so let me go ahead and do it now. Like, if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. Like, today, I need to call a person's mom because they have like legal stuff going on that I just have to check in, see if they need a presence letter or whatever for it. And I kept telling myself all day, Dejanay, you gotta call the mama. You gotta call the mama. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call the mama first thing tomorrow. So that's what I'm gonna do, because I'll be off after that. So I definitely don't want to be off and not did that. But baby, if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done. And so that's why it's good to know that I'm that person that as soon as you tell me something, I do it. Like, and people, I don't know if it surprises people, but I'm really like that person. You tell me something need to get done, it's gonna get done. I'm not finna lollygag shits or giggles, because I know if I do that, it ain't never gonna get done. It ain't never gonna get done. It ain't never gonna get done. But I try to give to other people what they ask, but also give to myself what I ask for. Because it's not fair that I show up for other people and then when I ask for something, I let it fall to the wayside. Sometimes other people's requests, like, and I feel like probably a lot of people tend to do that, where if they don't do it for themselves immediately, it just falls to the wayside. You get put to the back burner, and it's like, nah, like, we should show up with the urgency that we do for other people. Because I'm pretty sure there's people out there right now that they tell themselves they need to do something. They don't do it right then, but it falls to the wayside. But in that same note, if somebody else asks them to do something, they figure out how to do it in 2.2 seconds. So, like, we got to learn how to show up for ourselves in that same urgency, so that we're making sure that the things we're asking ourselves for, we're tending to. Because if we was to ask somebody else, which is probably why we do, I have a hard time asking for other people, because if you don't do it right, then nah, I don't be tripping out. As long as you do it, I'm cool. But for some people, it's probably like, if you don't do it right, then you probably think the person don't care about you or whatever the case may be. And it's like, well, if you expect for them to show up like immediately when you ask for something, why you don't do that for yourself? Like, why are you not showing up like that for yourself? Like, you should be able to say, okay, I want to go to the gym today. And then you get up, get dressed, and go to the gym before you forget that you said you wanted to go to the gym. Or, I want to do this, that, and the third. And then you do that, but before you forget that you said you wanted to do that. It's so many times where I see people around me that they be like, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. But they never get done. And even for myself, like, I keep telling myself I want to travel, and that keeps getting put into the back of my brain. But baby, not this year. Cause see, this way work sets up, right? So I get bonuses at work, and the way these bonuses been falling, my savings gonna be nice in a little bit. Give it a few months. Savings gonna be nice. So my traveling is not getting put to the wayside. Like, Dejanay will be leaving out of America 2025 unless shit go left. I don't. We gonna pray. Shit don't go left. Francis Ross. But I will be going out of the country 2025 because I keep telling myself I want to travel. The last time I left outside the country was 2021. I don't want another, year to go by without me traveling. So, like, what I ask for, I'm gonna show up. And then for all of my stuff that's on my vision board, what I ask myself for, I'm gonna show up the best way that I can. Some of this stuff, I don't know if it'll get achieved in 2025 because it was some big goals on there. Like, I am very handy. So if you see right here on YouTube, if you see this brown post right here, this is one of the posts to my bed because my bed is up above me. I'm very handy. I like doing stuff with my hands, a lot of stuff. And if you know, you know. But I like doing stuff with my hands. So one of the things on my vision board is to do the entertainment system for the living room because I want to build the entertainment system. That's a big ask. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to really be on top of what needs to be done daily so that can get done, especially because I have a job. But I don't think it's impossible to do because an entertainment system probably can be done within like 2 months if you're on a good schedule or whatever. If you plan it out right and you're doing what needs to be done consistently, can it be done in like 2 months? Yeah. So it's like, being able to show up and do the things that I'm telling myself I want to do is ideal. And that's where this discipline thing is going to benefit me in the long run. Is it going to be annoying sometimes? Yeah, because some of these things on my vision board are not the most comfortable, especially anything on the health side. Which I'd just be wanting to lay down, eat a whole bunch of food, and chill out. So losing weight and getting toned and all this other stuff and eating, child, let me tell you about this eating consistently thing. This is why I said me and discipline are not best friends. Because this eating thing, when they say eating is 80% and the working out and everything else is 20 of whatever the percentage is, like, baby, why? who came up with that? Like, why do the eating got to be so much of the part? Why got to be so much of the part? Because the eating part just, I just, and I'm not even gonna say I'm having a hard time with it. I think if I was back in my own space, if I was back in my own apartment or whatever, I think I would be doing way much better than I am right now. Because I'm at home and I feel obligated to make sure my mama them eat when I go in that kitchen. It kind of drives me to not want to go down there and really do too much when it comes to that, because they're not on the journey I'm on. Like, and I don't want to be responsible for making sure they're on the journey I'm on. Like, yeah, I want my mom to be healthy and all this other stuff, but I don't want to be responsible for making sure she's doing what she's supposed to be doing. Like, that's her responsibility, because she not doing that for me. And unfortunately, she didn't do that for us when we were younger. She didn't make sure we were eating the healthiest. Now, did we have probably a lot of home cooked meals? Yeah, but did we have a lot of nights eating out and everything? Definitely. So, unfortunately, she didn't make sure that we were healthy at home. So, I don't want that to be my responsibility to make sure she's doing that. Like, can I help out when I can? So, like, when I make myself a smoothie in the morning, if I have some left over, I'll take it to her. But, like, that's if I have some left over. I don't think, okay, when I go in here and I make me a smoothie, I need to be making my mama a smoothie. Like, no, if my mama want a smoothie, she better come make her a smoothie. She better come do whatever she needs to do, because if that's something she values or cares about, she'll be doing it. So I think if I was back on my own in my own space, I think my diet probably would be a little bit better. On top of two, I don't want to cook for multiple people. It's so easy to just cook for yourself. Like, major reason why I ain't had no kids is because that's another whole person to be concerned about. Not to say I don't want kids ever, because I do want to be a mom one day. But right now, when I'm trying to figure out things for me, I don't got the wherewithal, the bandwidth to figure out things for a whole nother human being. Like, I just want to figure it out for me right now, so that when a whole nother human being comes in, like, it's second nature to me. So it's like, I only want to be responsible for feeding me and making sure I'm doing what I need to be doing, and that if I do anything extra, it's because I have the bandwidth to do something extra. But it's not my responsibility to do nothing for nobody else, because I'm over here learning all this shit because I didn't get instilled that. So it'll be a blessing if you get the extra stuff, because that is my cup overflowing. Because right now I have to pour into my cup, and I can't give out something I don't have. And so I'm really teaching myself and everything. So I definitely think I would be on a better trajectory if I was by myself versus being at home. But, all in all, I still don't eat terribly. Like, I do my best to stay away from fast food unless it's like Chick-fil-A, or I'm craving breakfast, because now breakfast food from fast food places be kind of fire. I ain't gonna hold you. Wendy's is fire. I've been craving a croissant sandwich from Burger King for the longest. That'd be fire. But, like, I haven't went and got it. Y'all, be so proud of me. Just right now, be so proud of me. Like, I'm so proud of you, girl, because you have been craving this sandwich since you had one about 2 weeks ago. And normally you would have been on went and got a croissant sandwich, damn well you don't need it, but you didn't go and get it, and I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you, because you would have been on went and found out how to get that sandwich, and you don't need that sandwich yet. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta take time for me. I gotta take time for me, because, y'all, it really has been like I've been craving that croissant sandwich. I really have, and I ain't gonna get it. I ain't gonna get it. I ain't gonna get it at all. Don't mean I won't have one by the time. Nah, not by the time I do the next episode, but But yeah, like I've been doing pretty well. I do my best to get my water in. I don't really consume like juice or soda or anything like that unless I'm like truly craving it. Other than that, I'm doing water daily. I'm not over like I'm not gonna say I'm not overeating. I'm doing my best to not overeat. I notice that I do have a tendency to just eat if food is around me, which is absolutely insane. And probably how I got this belly right here is just eating because it's around. So I'm doing my best to like get out of that mindset. Like yesterday at the job, because of the football game or whatever, they had ordered like Publix popcorn chicken and like a little charcuterie board or whatever. Now, mind you, I had one plate of the popcorn chicken, some salami, some pepperoni. That's all I needed. My ass, just because it's there, gets a whole nother plate. My body ate my ass up. My body and God probably did. Whatever was on my spirit was dead left out of me. I had a rough night last night. I don't even know how I'm still awake. I'm so tired because my sleep was so thrown off. My stomach hurt so bad. So I'm like really paying attention to how my body reacts to me being gluttonous, being like doing too much, like, and not really paying it, like not really needing the extra, but giving myself extra just because it's there. Like, I'm really paying attention to that because I don't want to have nights like that where my stomach is so annoyed. And it's crazy because I knew as soon as I finished with that second plate, I knew all hell was gonna break loose. I knew it. I didn't know it was gonna be that bad, but I knew all hell was gonna break loose because I was low key full before I even got the first plate. I ain't gonna hold you. So it's like I'm really working on things, like, but again, it's like building that relationship because I come from a family where eating is their coping skill. Eating is their favorite pastime. Like eating is their like, and I'm sure. I mean, we in America, whose favorite pastime isn't eating? But like, we come from a society where food is just like everywhere. Besides sex, is food. You got sex here and food here, and they might combine it sometimes. Child, like you got sex and food all at once. So it's just like you're inundated with food all the time. You grow up in a household where, again, that's a coping skill. So like building that relationship and being more disciplined with not overeating and tending to the goals to help me, lose the fat, gain the muscle, all this other stuff, like that is a process. And if I was to try and I be looking it up, and in my heart I'd be like, okay, I can do this, I can cook this, even, and this is why you got to know you, right? Y'all, I've been trying to meal prep for the last 3 weeks, month or so. I don't even know. I've been trying to do it. I literally can only eat the food once or twice, and then my mind be on to something completely different. And so I have to get to a space where, and what's crazy is I could technically cook every other day because, again, I don't go to work until 1 o'clock in the evening. Well, in the afternoon. I could cook before I go to work and have lunch, a different lunch or whatever. It's just, again, the to-do list, and this is how it all ties together. Creating a to-do list, making sure the meat's thawed out or the stuff is purchased or whatever the case may be, like making sure that's here so I can do that. So then I can have lunch. So then I'm eating, something from home rather than having to buy food because I didn't cook or whatever. Like it all ends up tying into each other. But I do know, and as much as I want to be the girly that meal preps for the week and stuff like that, baby, like that's not me. We've like since I was younger, we always had something different to eat every day. Like if we didn't eat what was at home, my mama would stop real quick and get McDonald's or Taco Bell when shit was cheap. Like we always, for the most part, had something different. And then being that you come from a bigger family, you cook it every day. Anyways, there's not really leftovers because you're you have enough food to feed everybody, so you're really cooking every other day or whatever. So I've always been the type to eat something different when something comes to mind. And I don't think that's a problem if you're tending to it at home versus tending to it outside. And that's where I'm like working to put it together. It's like, I know me. I know I'm not going to want this overnight oats more than once or twice in a row. Like, I don't even know why I'd be making 4 at a time. I know I'm not going to want this more than once or twice. So let me just make 2 and let me set myself up 2 days in a row and start doing it like that. Let me do things that's going to work for me to be successful rather than looking at somebody else's blueprint, not following it, and then think I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. When in reality, I'm not working towards my strengths or who I am. I'm working towards somebody else's, and that's why I'm not getting it right. So like if you're building that routine or doing the things or trying to figure things out and you find that trying to do it somebody else's way is not working for you, go to your way. Your way can be successful. It can be successful if you replace the bad stuff with the good stuff. Like, the fact that I want something different every day or every other day is not a problem. The fact that I go outside to go buy something because nothing new is cooked at home is the problem. I know how to cook. Well, very well to some people, but well, I know how to cook. I can easily put something together and have a new meal every other day if I plan it out. And then I don't have to buy out. So then I'm saving money and I'm watching what I'm putting into my temple. And I can get the same results that somebody that meal prep for the whole week is getting by doing it my way. So by knowing me and playing to my strengths as well as my weaknesses, because that would be considered like a weakness that I can't eat I ain't gonna say I can't, that I don't want to eat. Because I ain't gonna say I can't eat it, but that I don't want to eat the same thing, that might be a weakness. But baby, I know it's a weakness. And so how can I thrive in this weak space? I can prep for 2 days. Every 2 days I can prep. And then have a cheat day. So 6 days out the week, I come up with a different meal. And then that last day, I grab whatever I want to grab. So that's a cheat day. And then I have 3 different meals throughout the week. I low-key feel like and I'm going to put it into practice because I'm not doing this right now, y'all. I'm coming up with a plan right now, game plan, live well, it's not live, but, right now, I'm coming up with a game plan right now, but I think I'm going to work on that. Okay, probably not right now because, like I said, when I feel wrong just cooking for me, but I don't want to be responsible for nobody else. So I don't know if I'm gonna do that right now. But when I get back on my own, having the meal prepped, having at least the meat prep throughout the week, 3 different types of meat or 3 different ways it's seasoned or whatever, having that prep throughout the week so that once I done ate one meal twice and I know I'm tired of that shit, okay, on to the next. Okay, this is for the next 2 days. On to the next. This for the next 2 days. And then take that day off or whatever to eat whatever you want to eat and then get back on it. I'm going to test that out because low-key I think that might be what I'm going to benefit from in order to maintain consistency and to eat healthier and be disciplined about it is to meal prep, quotation marks around meal prep in that way where I'm not forcing myself to eat some shit I don't want to eat, which means that I'm going to end up wanting to quit sooner than later. And then I'm wasting food too because I'm making 4 meals for the week. But no, damn well I only want to eat maybe two of them meals, and not maybe, yeah, two of them. So then I end up wasting food, and I don't want to be wasteful. I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to do none of that. So like, I don't want to keep setting myself up for disappointment. And so that's like my goal right now, is figuring out what's the healthy things, but doing it in my way, because that's the only way I'm going to sustain it, is doing it in my way. So yeah, I feel like I've like talked so much. Oh, I haven't talked about procrastination and fear. So y'all, okay, so I felt like I was supposed to talk about that a long time ago. But see, when you flowing and stuff just coming out, you be done talk for 50 minutes and you don't even know where you done went. And it just wasn't no procrastination and fear, but it was some good quality words of wisdom. So, but yeah, talking about the procrastination and fear part and how that plays into discipline. So, many people probably can see, the way in which I do things probably as procrastination, especially when it came to that goddamn GRE. Like I definitely waited to the last minute to book that, and then had to cram everything in, and my brain was hurting, and and the scores just wasn't scoring. Like, they weren't terrible, but they weren't scoring. So like, that definitely could have been seen as procrastination. But honestly, that probably was the only way I was gonna get that shit done. And not and probably with who I was just a few months ago, that probably was the only way I was gonna get shit done. Now I think that if I was to lock in a date for later down the road and set up the thing like how I did, which is, okay, do your three things a day and do your practice tests and everything like that, and really set up like a plan, I think I low key would be fire, moving forward. But like, sometimes like, stuff can get put to the back of your brain, and I think procrastination comes in when you don't have like that self-esteem or that self-love to put yourself first, and so stuff ends up being put to the back that you don't deem as important, but it really is important, and stuff like that. So like, I can definitely see, because like, I used to say I'm a professional procrastinator. Like, I used to say, like, baby, they should not go procrastinate. Like, in college, I'm the girl that's finna write, uh depending on the class, it was gonna be a bomb ass paper before 12 o'clock at night. Like, I'm finna write that paper all in one night before 12 o'clock at night, or that day before 12 o'clock at night is gonna get turned in. But depending on the class, it might have been fire and it might have not been. Don't judge me. But like, I am a professional procrastinator, because in my mind I'm like, you got so much time. But then I also am now paying attention to who I am. Although I got so much time, if my thought process is not on it throughout that whole time, baby, that shit ain't getting done until to the wire, which can end up breeding not your best work. So had I taken the GRE, like, planned it out a little bit better, I know I probably could have did really well. Like, I'm a bright young lady. If I would have planned it out accordingly, could I have scored higher? Yeah. But I personally didn't deem that shit as important. Now, granted, is it important? Yeah, to some schools, it probably is very important. But to Dasia, I didn't deem it as important, so I put it to the back. But it was an essential aspect of my graduate applications. So I needed to have viewed it as something way more important. And of course, I do see it now. And if all, and I joke so much about I'm not taking that shit again, but if worst comes to worst, and say I don't, like, I'm not gonna speak that over my life, but say I don't get into no schools right now, like, I would plan accordingly and really put the work into practice and retake the test. Because with what I did at the final, what I did at that final lap or whatever, like, was golden. Now imagine if I was able to spread it out and really do it without making my brain feel like it was throbbing every day. I probably would have scored in the 160s at least, or the high 150s. I would have at least been somewhere in there versus the low 150s. I was like literally right at 150. I would have been in the high 150s, 160s if I would have really given myself the time. So like sometimes procrastination is when you like deem something as not as important, or you got more time than you really do and you push it to the back, and you gotta find a way to make shit more important than you are thinking it is, because all of this stuff is important for the goal you have in mind, all of it. And so putting it off to the very last minute, that's not gonna do you no good, because if you get to a place where you forgot about it altogether, then you're only pushing back the time it takes to get to the goal. So, like, even now with the workout thing, I do my best to get my workout done before I go to work. Because I know when I get off of work, baby, like right now, I still got on this dress from work, but baby, this dress would have been off, this wig would have been off to the side. I would have been up under my heated blanket right now if this was any other day. If this was any other day, hair would have been to the side, dress would have been off, bra would have been off. I would have had on a big shirt, matching pajama set up under the heated blanket. That workout would have never got done. So I do my best to remind myself, like, yo, this is important enough to do, because you know you're not going to do it when you get home. And so finding an importance and knowing where to place certain things. Like, I usually record my podcast at night, but that's because I like when it's dark and I only use the ring light or whatever. I like it for the ambiance or the feeling, and I'm the only person in the house awake, so I don't feel like people are listening to the conversation, like whatever the case may be. But I know to do this at night. Now, did I procrastinate a little bit? Yeah, yesterday. Normally I will record. I try to record at least 2 or 3 days before I got to put it out on Wednesday. But I'm recording on a Tuesday, and I got to put it out tomorrow. But I'm not going to say it's not going to be my best work, because, with something like this, off the dome is how I do this anyway. So I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be my best work, but am I gonna be like cutting, like moving fast to make sure I can get the MP3 audio and all this stuff so I can put it onto the damn website and be able to set the thing up for YouTube and do all of that, because that's gonna take some time. Like, I'm cutting it close, yeah. And I do my best to not cut it this close, but yesterday I was so tired. I was like, I wouldn't go give out nothing quality if I would have did it yesterday. Because I didn't even know, like, okay, I knew I wanted to talk about discipline this week, but I hadn't thought about where it would have went and none of that. So if I would have tried to do that yesterday, it probably would have been shot. And the message that I gave out today probably wouldn't have been yesterday's message. And I actually like what I'm talking about right now. So it's just like, you got to know where to place things, when to do things, place importance on those things so that you're not procrastinating when you're doing things. Because once you define that something is important and then know where to put it, it's easy to achieve it. So with the studying thing, when I was doing that in the 3 weeks, 2 weeks, the month, or whatever I was doing that, the goal was to do it before I got off of work. I mean, before I went to work. But there were some days where I would have had to, I had to come home because I didn't do it before I went to work. I had to come home and do it. Now I'm up till 3 o'clock at night. Did it shoot me in the foot? A little bit, because it threw off my fucking sleep. because I'm usually in the bed no later than 12 at night so that I could be winding down so I go to sleep. But like it threw me off. Did I have to bear the repercussions of that? I did. But, shit got done, yeah, but I had to bear the repercussions of that. So sometimes with procrastination, the more you push stuff off, again, you got to bear whatever comes with that. But real quick, y'all, I got to do the definition of procrastination because I didn't do the definition. But procrastination is the act of putting off tasks or responsibilities, even when it's known that there could be negative consequences. It can be a common experience, but it can also be a symptom of other issues. So, again, you put shit off, consequences could be bad, but you keep putting it off. But when you start to identify why you're putting it off, what's causing you to not put it off? Okay, am I setting myself up so that I can do this in a timely fashion, like stuff like that? Then you start to get it right. So I had more days when I was studying of doing my things before I went to work than I did doing it when I got off. I mean, towards the end, I was doing a lot when I got off because I had stopped walking. So then that started to affect me walking and doing my yoga. So it all ended up being a domino effect. So like that's why right now with this working out thing, I'm like making sure to stay on top of doing it before I go to work. So that one, it gets done, and two, that I'm not letting myself down. Because again, it is something that's important. And I still had the mindset that the GRE wasn't that important. So it was like, whatever. And that's why I didn't get on track with that. But again, right now with the mindset I have, I know the importance it has. My undergraduate years was trying, to say the least. So I definitely needed the GRE to help show people, like, to at least help show the professors or the admissions team or whatever, like, yo, although I did, this in undergrad, baby, don't think Dasia ain't not a smart cookie. Like, don't think I can't get shit done. Don't think I won't know this big stuff that y'all talking about in graduate school, because look at these scores. So it's like, now I understand the importance. And so I would take it way seriously, way more seriously than I just did a few months ago. But that's also the type of person I'm working into and becoming, and learning who I am and going through the mistakes so I can rework it and do something different. Like, it all ends up working out for the better. And then as far as the fear part, I think low key everybody probably has like a fear of success, like, and succeeding and doing good, because especially if you're like somebody who has not seen it in front of you, you don't know what that other side looks like. And being that you would be the only person over there because you're the first one to do it, that shit is lonely sometimes. And you fear that loneliness way more than anything else. And so that can cause you to not stick to your plan or to procrastinate, because you fear that when you get to the success, you're not going to have nobody around you that you know and care about and stuff like that. But then when you realize that we are a being of connection and that we're always going to learn how to formulate relationships and come together and connect with other people, because just because you can't see the people right now, know that your people will be on that side, just like there's people right here on this side with you. Like, don't fear that when you get to the success, you're going to be the only one over there, because there's people over there waiting for you, arms open wide. Just like it's people over here waiting on you to continue to fail, arms open wide, because they over here failing. So, like, that fear shit, don't let that be the reason why you don't maintain it. Like, to me, that has been like, especially that being alone thing, I'm like really learning how to embrace being alone right now, because I don't like that feeling. I've been alone unwarranted, not unwarranted, unwantedly, that ain't even a word, Lord. It's a word today. I've been alone unwantedly my whole entire life, emotionally, for the most part, since being young. Like, and so being the first to do shit is lonely. Lonely. And then, like, you have guards up and you don't know who to connect with and stuff like that. So you really do go through this shit alone. But the moment that you realize, like, you don't have to, like, there's people there that you can connect with and really bond with, and they can potentially become family. You start to, like, let that guard down and not be scared to stay on track and stay on plan and get to where you want to be. So, like, that's the little tie-in that I'll have on procrastination and fear. Of course, this is really short because I low-key forgot about it. I low-key forgot about it. But, like, yeah, like, don't let that fear be the reason why you don't wake up and do what you need to do. You don't eat what you need to eat. You don't go do the application you needed to do. You don't apply, like, you don't meet the person you need to be. Like, well, me, like, don't let the fear be the reason why you don't take action. Because the action part is the most important part of this journey. As long as you keep moving, baby, as long as you keep moving, you gonna be all right. What do they say? Depression can be breeded in stillness. But, I mean, great things can be breeded in stillness too. But the moment you stop growing or stop moving, that's when you're tainted. Like they say, water, if it sits for a long amount of time, it can actually be bad. So anything that sits still for a long amount of time can be tainted. So you want to make sure that you keep doing. Even if you're fucking up, know that you can correct those mistakes and you can keep doing. And then make sure you're, again, catering to who you are at your core. Because a lot of this core shit, we're not changing. All we can do is add to it. But a lot of this core shit, we're not changing. So figure out how to work with who you are at your core rather than trying to be somebody completely different so that you can get the same shit other people got if you truly want the other shit other people got. Because I know for me, I'm succeeding right now because I do it my way. And can't nobody else tell me how to do it. They give me tips and tricks, but it's on me to know if those tips and tricks are going to work for me. Because at this point in my life, I only want to do what works for me. Because I'm tired of being in the same space, not growing, not evolve. Well, I'm always growing and I'm always evolving, but on the outside. Because right now, I feel like internally, I'm lit. But externally, the environment I'm in does not look like what I want it to look like. And I'm tired of that. I want a whole new external reality. And the only way that I'm going to get there is with the new internal reality. And then when I mesh those two together, we going to be lit. But yeah, y'all, that is my spiel for, what was it? Sorry, y'all. I be blanking. But that was my spiel for discipline and maintaining and developing it and cultivating it and using it as a tool to get you where you want to go. Like, that's been my journey with it. Like I said, we got this love-hate thing going on or whatever. I still don't like it, but I am learning to like it. And then eventually I'm going to get to where I love discipline. Because without discipline, you can't become the person you want to be. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work that way. So I'm learning to like it first. Let's like it first. And then before you know it, your girl gonna love discipline. and she gonna be able to pass it down to her children, and her children are gonna be able to pass it down to their children. And this is in healthy ways, because I just want to learn how to do stuff in healthy ways. So yes, that's my spiel, y'all. Like, if you have your own like things you do when it comes to discipline, like, share it. And then, like, if there's like an area in your life where you feel like discipline would be the most beneficial right now, what is that? Put it in the comments. Share with us. Where do you feel like you need more discipline? It could be sex, it could be money, it could be food, it could be social media. Where do you feel like you need more discipline? Share with us. Share with me. I want to know. Talk your shit. Tell me about it, because y'all just learned about where I need discipline. Now, where I didn't talk about I need discipline, and granted, I have discipline when it comes to sex, as long as I'm not dealing with nobody. But that's where I need it, because it's crazy. Todd, but is it Body, whatever? She be saying like people got the Jezebel spirit, and I be telling myself, I be telling myself that all the time. I be like, Dasia, girl, you got a Jezebel spirit on you. That's why you keep making these terrible mistakes. That's where I need the discipline, but only when I'm dealing with people I like, because all them hormones get to going and flowing, and then you get to going and flowing, and now you done flew into a motherfucking brick wall because you just got a concussion. But that's what I needed. But if you needed that too, let me know. And if you already done figured it out, let me know. Because I need to get my life. I need to get my life when it comes to that. But everything else, we're work in progress. We're learning. But yes, y'all, share the video if you learned something. Share the clips that I'm gonna put out on Instagram, TikTok, as long as we got it, and Facebook. Like, definitely include somebody into this conversation, because we all could use a little discipline. But I'm gonna end it here, so y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and definitely tune in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of the other streaming platforms, because I think I'm all over the place. Your girl all over the place or whatever. But yes, y'all, tune in with me next week. Like I said, this is season 1 of personal development and self-growth. This was an episode about discipline, and I hope you learned some things. Laughed a little bit. Did I laugh? I always laugh. But, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Tune in with me next Wednesday. Who knows what I'll be talking about, but it'll be along the lines of personal growth and development and personal self-development and personal growth. I had to remember what it was. But y'all, this is Talk Your Shit with Dasia, where we drop the I, because not only can I talk my shit, but I want you to talk your shit too. I will tune in with y'all next Wednesday at 7. Bye.